What's up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to be showcasing Shadow Hippowdon in the Open Great League with some of my battles. You know, they say the hippo is the most dangerous animal in the world. I've heard that before, and sometimes that can be the case as well in the Go Battle League. Sometimes, maybe it's a little bit of a liability with the lack of fast attack pressure, but Shadow Hippowdon gets us a lot of positive matchups and some crazy wins in this set. It's going to be a shorter video, just 5 battles here, but Shadow Hippowdon was a lot of fun, and thanks to those of you in chat that suggest me teams from time to time. Someone suggested this team. I decided, what the heck, let's run it. Hippowdon, Jellicent, Corviknight, 2 sand attack users. Can we sand attack the opposition here? Trap them in some quicksand. Maybe they'll be frozen in fear when they see the Hippowdon. Here we go. Sanchez Luis is the first opponent. Hippo into Gligar. If only we were running Ice Fang on the Hippo, that would be nice, but we are running Sand Attack, so we're going to switch immediately. We have 2 better answers, and immediately we know that this is a flippable matchup against this Azumarill, so I'm going to try to flip the alignment here, because if we can get Corviknight locked onto Gligar, I feel like that could be really good for us. They actually shield the first Shadow Ball, so they want to try and retain Switch if possible. But considering this was their best answer to Jelly, I mean, this Jelly is going to be a pain in the butt for them to deal with. Azu going for a Play Rough here, and it connects. We probably will want to shield this next one here, because we could give them the opportunity to farm us down after. And the reason I don't throw my Shadow Ball first is because we know it doesn't quite knock out the bulky Azumarill. So now I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball. This will connect, and we actually forced them to give up Switch, but not before we get off a Parting Surf. This is huge. And then we can wall this Gligar with our Corviknight. Gligar only dishing out resisted damage, assuming they're not running Night Slash. So a really comfortable matchup here for Corviknight in this Battle of the Flyers. See that Aerial Ace doing very little. And I'm perfectly fine taking another. I want to maximize my energy on this Corviknight to get the biggest advantage possible. Farming up more, not quite to double, but close to it. And we are going to go for the Iron Head, knocking out Gligar. And oh baby, it's a Marowak back. This is pretty good for Corviknight because we resist the Mud Slap damage, and we kind of force him to go for the inefficient attack of Rock Slide. I go for a catch, not really necessary here. But we're just swapping in our Hippo, so he gets some playing time. So he feels like he's part of the team. This video is about him. And I throw the Scorching Sands here. This should knock out the Marowak. This does so much damage from Shadow Hippo. Bang. And 1 Sand Attack, it looks like, knocks out the Azumarill. Yeah, I was kind of mindlessly throwing my energy there. Like, if they had caught, maybe things could have got a little bit dicey, honestly. So maybe I was being a little bit overly aggressive there. A little more patience would have been nice as we wait for our next battle here. Let me know, as always, in the comments what you guys are running, what you're liking, enjoying, or maybe what you're not liking or enjoying in the Go Battle League. I know there can be good days and bad days. We lead against this Shadow Annihilate, which is kind of scary. I decided not to shield because they only went straight to Rage Fist. So I figure I just take the shield advantage here. I assume they're going to shield the Scorching Sands, and I'm just going to let myself get countered down and come in with Jelly and probably force them to pivot out. They pivot into a Furret, which is not ideal. Furret, really hard answer to Jelly, and then even Corviknight resisting everything. It's not as comfortable of a matchup as you think because we get outpaced. I'm getting spam risk calls trying to distract me. Wow. Would I have thrown an alignment if it wasn't for the spam risk call? I don't know. Swift does some decent damage. I'm going to go for the Iron Head first. Kind of gauge if I can get away with another Iron Head or if I need to go for Sky Attack. Yeah, and it looks like I can get away with Iron Head here. Expecting them to probably switch. And our only chance is if Jelly... Oh, okay. In comes Dedenne. I go for the Surf immediately before they can buff their defense. And that still does some sizable damage. Now we got to start using our shields. Parabolic Charge will do more than a Rage Fist from Annihilate. Parabolic Charge, we shield, building up, building up. I go for the Surf Bait. This could be really big, honestly, because if this gets the final Protect Shield, but they let it go. That shocked me. So, oh, I remember this now. I think if they shield that, we're in a much more uncomfortable situation. But they must have thought after their buff, they would live the surf. That's the only explanation there. They must have thought that they would live the surf, but Dedenne is very frail, very glassy. So even with the one stage defense buff, did not live the surf, and that is good for us. So perhaps a little bit lucky to win that one. But, you know, Hippo did its job. It got a shield advantage, forced them to give up switch, and we got one positive matchup, at least, with the Corviknight on the fur, and I guess that's all we needed to overcome that situation. Next battle. Fabian Amari. Hippo into Moltres. This is kind of scary, man. This is kind of scary. We do have the super effective Rock Weather Ball here to threaten. However, we have no fast attack pressure on our entire team. No fast attack pressure across the entire team. I throw an alignment there. For some reason, I thought Hippo would win charge attack priority, but I was incorrect. I was mistaken. Rock Weather Ball coming through, gets the shield. And Hippo actually going to get to a third Weather Ball here. This is probably going to force the second Protect Shield from Moltres, and it does. So I'm just going to let myself get farmed down and look to come in with Corviknight, since Corviknight can actually tank the energy here better than Jelly. But look, this is still awkward because we can't really farm down. They Brave Bird us. They come in Drapion. Okay, so this is kind of doing us a favor by swapping in the Drapion. We're going to land the Sky Attack here. They are at 1 Poison Sting. So do we go for a catch potentially, or do we just stay in? Man, it would have been really nice to catch this Aqua Tail. That could have been a game changer. But I come in with Jelly, and unfortunately, we're not going to get the Hex down before they reach a crunch, so I have to shield this. And now our Jelly's going to be shieldless, and their Galarian Moltres still has energy as well, and it's a Credilli in the back. Yikes. I think maybe my only win condition would have been if I did catch that Aqua Tail on Corviknight. But at this point, a Grass Knot's going to do so much damage, and we can't farm down the Corviknight either. Or sorry, the Moltres. So that's why you see me going for Surf here, even though it's probably not going to KO. My only win condition would be like to have another Surf loaded for the Moltres. And that is a good game. Well played by them. 2-1 this set. 2-1. Man, also if we were able to save that Corviknight for the Credilli, maybe we would have had some play. But Credilli actually can hold its own against Corviknight, believe it or not. It's not that bad of a matchup. Because after a Rock Tomb, your damage output from Corviknight is just not very good. You don't even two-shot the Credilli. Yikes. Greninja is problematic, to say the least. Problematic for this team. But let's see what happens. They go up to 3, up to Hydro Cannon. I'm going to respect it. Luckily, they don't bait us. I'm going to overfarm right before the second Hydro Cannon, the third Water Shuriken. And we bait the Weather Ball. Nice. They throw instantly. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And I'm going to build up, throwing here. And we pace the same, right, to the next attack. So I actually decide in the moment here to catch onto Corviknight. A little bit of an awkward catch because they can outpace us to another attack. They can bank an attack if they want, and that's exactly what they decided to do. They bank a Hydro Cannon. Oh, no, never mind. They throw the Hydro Cannon. This is better for me. I'd rather them throw it here than save that energy for Jelly. And they come in with Skarmory, which really surprised me. What the heck? Skarmory, dude? Skarmory? In 2025? I don't know. Gauging whether I can get to the Sky Attack, and I do get there just before going down. What's problematic here is we have no Protect Shield. We're just going to get Brave Birded. I couldn't come in with Hippo, right? Because a Rock Weather Ball wouldn't quite be enough to knock out. Neutral damage against Skarmory. Brave Bird does connect. I wasn't really on point with my counts here, but I just go for the overfarm thinking if I'm going to win this, I feel like I'm going to need energy. Greninja doesn't have much energy. They come in with Azu. 4 bubbles. Okay, so we got to be patient here. 5, 6. So they could have play roughed there. And dude, I got greedy. Like, I thought they were expecting me to catch, so they were going to keep building. And I should have just thrown my Shadow Ball. Because if I get that charge attack priority, Azu is within range now. And then it comes down to whether we can sand attack down the... and I think we might have won. It would have been close because we would have been low. But I think we get there before they do 2 water shurikens. So I kind of threw that game, unfortunately. Our opponent gave us a little bit of a window. And it's one of those situations where, like, you feel like they have you, so you don't really play to your only win condition. Also, to be fair, I knew that they might catch with their Greninja, so that might be another reason I didn't throw my Shadow Ball, is because it just seemed like an obvious opportunity for them to catch on Greninja. So, yeah, so just made the wrong call there. Well played by them. And this is the 5th and final battle of the video. Here we go. Here we go, Hippo. Here we go. This is great. And because it's only 9 turns to Weather Ball, this is why knowing, like, your turns can be helpful. I know I can just throw this immediately for proper timing. Just spam that Weather Ball. Now Talon's going to fire off an attack. I'm going to invest shields here because I know how valuable Rock Weather Ball damage will be onto Talon. They swap into Credilli. I counter swap Corv. And because it's Acid, I guess either way it's double resisted. But Acid's probably a little bit better, I would think, for Corviknight, just because Bullet Seed generates energy slightly quicker. So. And we actually get off the second Iron Head before the second Rock Tomb. This is massive, because now this does enough damage. If they Rock Tombed us first, I don't think we could have actually farmed down before they get to another Rock Tomb, because these sand attacks do so little. We get off... yeah, we farm it down. We quick swap. We play aggressive here. Get off the Rock Weather Ball. They shield. Definitely going to shield this. And if they do an Incinerate and they're locked in that animation, I'm simply just going to throw my Weather Ball. But no, they swap into Jumpluff. And this suddenly becomes a little bit scary for us. Because if this Jumpluff has Energy Ball especially, can 2-shot our Jelly pretty easily. I get off another Rock Weather Ball here. Looks like I might even get to another. So they actually force a throw. And then check this out. They throw Energy Ball, which tells me they're running double nuke. I come in with Corviknight just to force them to expend energy as quick. And we actually get to the Iron Head first, or they were just over farming because they knew they needed more energy. And then we've got Jelly versus Talonflame in the back. The Jelly Meister going to disrespect the Talonflame, force a top left, and a nice win there, giving us a 3-2, a positive set with the Shadow Hippowdon, along with Jellicent and Corviknight. 2 solid bulky Pokemon in the back, both weak to Electric, of course. So Hippo is kind of our anti-Electric, and that got us to 28-32 at the time. I think I'm a little bit higher now. I think I'm in the 3,000s once again. This season has been a little bit up and down, where I've like passed that 3,000 legend threshold a few times, and looked like we we retired the team after 1 set. I think on my live stream, I was like, you know what, we got in 1 positive set with this crazy Hippo team. I'm gonna call it there. Take my winnings and switch it up. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I plan on starting to simul stream and test out that on YouTube as well. Normally you find me over on the other platform, and I think my plan is to try and engage as many of you as possible. Start live streaming at the same time on both once I figure out how to set that up. And also, I think I will keep the VODs on YouTube only instead of Twitch. So that way we still keep the audience that we have over on Twitch as a platform, and I know some people aren't really as accustomed to using that, so we can get some more people in the live streams over on YouTube as well, and grow the audience a little bit more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. Shout out to Hippowdon, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.